Hi all, I have an absolutely fascinating game to show you from TSEC from yesterday. Leela playing against Fritz, so TSEC Season 14, Division 1, Round 14. The opening book, okay, so Leela playing white. The opening book is the actual Sicilian Sveshnikov, very topical from the 2018 World Chess Championship. Here is the end of the book. Now they're on their own, and Leela plays Bishop G5. This is a common move. A6, knight A3, and the most common move here is B5 with the idea of B4. White usually plays either knight D5 or bishop takes F6, but in this game we see the rarer bishop E6, now knight C4, rook C8, and now white has the forcing move bishop takes F6 with a positional concept to try and establish a knight on that D5 square. According to Michael Steen in the classic book Simple Chess, the pawn structure is the fundamental constraint of the pieces, and here we can see an interesting example of white getting a stranglehold over d5 quite early on. Knight takes d6, by the way, gives black a little bit of counterplay, although it wins a pawn technically. After taking rook d8, knight d4, this is nasty for white. For example, if white castles queenside, queen takes f2, and if bishop d3 to try and castle kingside, queen g5, if castling kingside, bishop h3, and black's getting a small edge, winning the exchange. And if white has to play a move like king f1, it's not ideal. White technically might be better, but this is giving black a lot of play. So essentially, Leela goes for a much quieter positional continuation to establish the stranglehold of a knight on d5. So we have queen g6 here, queen d3 protecting e4, bishop e7. Now knight c7 check, interfering with black's castling rights, so this rook is going to be a problem. This isn't an ideal variation for black. Knight takes e6 now is possible. Black can't even play f takes here because of knight d7 check winning the rook on b8, winning the exchange. So queen takes e6 makes sure that the d5 square is still nice for the knight. Queen d2 is played first though. We have now, this prevents things like bishop g5, which might be an more active bishop sometimes. So yeah, this bishop is a bit of a prisoner in the position at the moment. King g8. Here we have knight d5. Now bishop d8. And white castles queenside, so a very comfortable opening position, and I believe this sort of position is right up Leela's street. Basically very positional, controlled counterplay scenario. h5, the rook is awkwardly placed on h8, king b1, bishop a5, queen e3, we have rook h6, and now h4, bishop b4, queen g5. This is preventing things like knight e7 at the moment, and it's awkward. If the rook goes to hit the queen just takes on h5. So what to do about this queen g5? It's quite an annoying leaning in move to black's position. Bishop c5, and we have bishop e2 just counter-attacking h5, so ignoring the threat f2. Knight d4 is played now. On bishop takes f2, just to put it on the board, first gain a tempo on the bishop and then take on h5, and white's doing great here. So in the game actually, after bishop e2, knight d4, pardon me, knight d4 is played. We have the bishop going to c4. It's also actually technically possible, it seems, to have played bishop takes h5, very tactical, and would require immense calculation after queen g4, f5, trying to uproot the knight. But it turns out here, e takes is actually quite good for white. This would get perpetual check on taking, but white can play this, and end up with a great position. Or here, on queen c6, c3, and then f6 is really dangerous. For example, this position is actually turning out to be very, very good for white. Really interesting tactics on bishop takes h5, but bishop c4 is the nice positional continuation. King h8, c3, knight c6, b4. Yeah, it's black's pieces are getting quite restricted. Now we have b5, bishop b3, queen e8, and now g4 playing on both sides of the board. A symphony on both sides here. Rook b7. If h takes g, f takes. This is bound to favour white, this kind of thing, opening up the f file. And h5 prospects and things like this is dangerous. Yeah, so the f file is too dangerous for black there. So we have actually rook b7, queen d2, a5. On knight e7, white can play the nice g5 and the rooks are in trouble. So for example here, that rook is a good target on e6, but also, yeah, if takes, that's winning the exchange. But if not, f4 and then queen takes h5. So black's in big trouble there. So we have a5, a3, bishop b8, queen e2, a takes, and now g5. This rook is becoming a prisoner of this position. It decides to keep defending h5. If it went to e6 here, f4 just hitting h5 is nasty. For example, yeah, this is just doesn't bear thinking about this position. Black could get easily mated, for example. So the rook becomes a total prisoner in this position. Yeah, it's unbelievable. C takes, queen d8, queen c2. We have knight e7, and now f4 here, trying to open up that f file. Knight takes. On e takes f4, rook hf1. This position is very pleasant for white indeed. So we have knight takes, bishop takes d5, rook e7, and now f5. Now after g6, this is a really ugly move to play. f6, rook e8. T-Sec had some hecklers, so to speak. Not really though. Fritz can't be put off by anything said at T-Sec. But yeah, I think I was the first one to think about titles for this video. So the most imprisoned rook in the history of engine chess. But rook not in Siberia but in the kitchen cupboard. That was from Alefan Vogel. Another one was beautifully evolving Leela creates visually crushing prison against Sicilian Fritz using a thorny pawn. That was from PH1 Rex. Kurt Busch 22, rook doesn't exist, AB engines won't soon. Floriman, tell me Mr. Fritz, what good is a rook if you're unable to move? Okay, so heckling aside, yeah, the rook does look pretty bad here. There are technically ways to shuffle out the rook. Involving king g8, rook h8, king going to h7, and the rook's got escape rank. Okay, so queen c6 is played, bishop a7. Yeah, just dropping the b5 pawn. Now there's two connected passed pawns over here. The opposite coloured bishops might not be helping black in this particular scenario. So queen b7. We have the offer of the exchange of queens. King comes up the board a bit, and now d6 is hit. That's just ignored as well. Yeah, black's in a bad state here, getting absolutely mashed. The king finally moves out of the way of that rook. The rook has activity again at some cost though. These pawns are coming down the board now. We have bishop d2, a pretty desperate move because it's a tactical liability on d2. And then we have bishop takes f7 in fact, just hitting the bishop. So on the event of, well, why did bishop d2 happen? If rook c7, then white's just playing with the pawns over here pretty soon. It's over anyway. This is just over with the two connected passed pawns. So bishop d2 allowed bishop takes f7. So no point taking on f7 because of rook takes d2. This is just really it's all winning here. Yeah, so bishop e1, bishop d5, bishop f2. We have rook c6, and now white starts to make progress pretty soon. Bit of shuffling first, high level shuffling as they say. and an exchange of rooks, and the game ended here. If the game continued, as an example, b takes, check, bishop a5, so at the moment it's blockaded, but bishop e6, for example, and then the king comes up, and this blockade is about to be lifted, and another pawn, if another pawn bites the dust, then these pawns are just crashing through, basically, with c8 to follow soon here. So yeah, pretty crushing positional game, showing that in certain positions Leela is super strong, strategic positions. And I used to think on knight on d5 from Irving Chernev's classic book, Most Instructive Games of Chess, he gave these strategic themes, which I thought of at the time as kind of themes which engines would have difficulty calculating. Themes like knights on d5, connected passed pawns, weaknesses of a color complex. These are like very abstract themes, but Leela added, of course, the form pawn to that arsenal of that toolkit, that arsenal of weapons to use, strategic weapons. But Leela is using it against very, very powerful engine opponents, strategically crushing engine opponents. This is just one of many recent examples. I hope you enjoyed this game video. If you did, please click on the top left box, which should appear shortly, to become a member at chessbowl.net to play against other YouTubers. You can also check the YouTube analysis in advance from the improved menu. Learn from the Masters YouTube order button. Comments, questions, donations, see the description. Like, shares, subscribes with notification bell, all really appreciated. Also, there's a new Teespring store in the description for form pawn and other chess t-shirts. Thanks very much.